Watson knew that it was pointless. Schaffer would never listen to a woman. Yo, what is happening? So over the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about a little business. Its name is the Daily Wire, especially in its massive explosion of drama with good friend of the stream, Steven Crowder. But we talked a lot about the Daily Wire and Crowder's potential deal with the Daily Wire, but we didn't talk much about his potential deal with the previous company that he worked with, which is called The Blaze. We still won't be doing that today, but we're going to be talking about The Blaze in particular, all right? And I find that it's going to be a little interesting, possibly, because Glenn Beck's The Blaze, that hosts several conservative media personalities, and now even, what's his name? Jackson Dinkle, even them are now having a lot of issues. That is because they're being sued, and sued pretty hard, by another friend of the stream, Sydney Watson, who's suing the media empire for ignoring her being harassed at work, sexual style, which I have to say is pretty bad. I'm going to be completely honest with you. Now, a little while ago, we also talked about Eliza Schaffer. Now, remember when Eliza Schaffer got kicked off of The Blaze? Some of you may remember it, some of you may not. We did a video on it. And Christian Walker talked about how Eliza Schaffer cheated on his wife with Christian Walker's friend. And so he outed him for that. For one, getting kicked off of The Blaze for assaulting, harassing people. We'll talk about that in a moment. And another one for cheating on his wife. Things aren't going too well for either Schaffer or The Blaze. Let's read up on it a little bit. This could be interesting, I guess. At least we'll be a little more knowledgeable. A year ago, Sydney Watson was poised to be a new star in the heady world of right-wing media. She was a few months into co-hosting a show on Glenn Beck's The Blaze, an online video network as a launching pad for big conservative personalities like Tommy Lauren and Dana Loesch. Watson had signed a multi-year deal with Blaze Media that she claimed was worth nearly $1.3 million. Still way too much money to pay this woman, but you know, whatever, I guess. But Watson had a problem. Her co-star, Pugnacious. Yo, we see the word again. Yo, it's the word again. Pugnacious. I know, you learn every day. You learn something new every day. It's crazy. Blaze pundit Eliza Schaffer. Watson thought Schaffer was setting her up to fail, insisting on grossly misogynistic guests, or even joking on Twitter about how he wanted to sleep with the talk show radio host Sebastian Gorka. Okay, that's not how you treat women in the workplace. You silly goose. You wacky boy, you absolutely quirky fellow. That's not how you treat women in the work. You don't say those things about women. Oh, come on, buddy. Come on. Why would you do something like that? Come on, get it together. Who would want to sleep with Sebastian Gorka? Goodness. That's just offensive. According to Watson, Schaffer was often drunk on set, sounds about right, slugging shots of liquor around recording time. Schaffer was obsessed with talking about sex, often specifically gay sex. Oh, that's curious. In Watson's account, would talk about it frequently around her and their guests. This actually like makes sense because Schaffer's always been some like a really big weirdo. On top of the fact is that like a lot of conservatives love talking about queer people. Like they do it all the time. Did you ever see that graph from this like online researcher that talked about how some people talk about like certain issues get brought up on in certain like media spheres online more, and like trans people specifically get brought up like over double the amount that they do in like far left or like liberal spaces compared to like conservative spaces. In conservative spaces, they talk about trans people more than liberal and left-wing spaces combined. It's crazy. So yeah, it makes a lot of sense how they would talk about gay people, gay sex, and all this type of stuff like more combined. They spend so much time thinking about it all day, every day. Specific sex often, specifically gay sex. So just be a weirdo freak who would make everybody uncomfortable that he was near. It's something about these types of people. Like they all come together and they love business, they love capitalism so much, but it seems like none of them know how to run a company. They're all just completely illiterate on how to run a functional company in any way, shape, or form. They just can't They can't do it. It's impossible. They they're all drunk. They're like, even we talked about, what is it? Project Veritas, how they were all like pooping on the floor the other day, literally shitting on the floor. It's crazy. After months of complaints from Watson, the Blaze CEO Tyler Carden allegedly came to her with a gripe of his own. Could she convince Schaffer to cut down on all of the penis talk? Yo, the boss. He's the boss. He's the boss, and he goes to her to ask her to do something about his employee? That's crazy. Going to Sydney Watson being like, hey, can you like make him stop? He's making us all so uncomfortable. Please. I'm begging. Can you control him? You're the only one he'll listen to. Please. Have you ever, you could just fire him or something? You know, like I don't know, just be a boss or whatever. I guess, whatever. I guess. Not possible. Cut down on all the penis talk, as Watson put it. Carden asked her to get Schaffer to stop talking about dick so much, but in telling her, Watson knew that it was pointless. Schaffer would never listen to a woman. Yo, what is happening? Dude, these stories are insane. These stories are insane. I feel like I know what's going to happen every time, but I want to see what's going to happen because it's just incredible. He's out of control. He needs to be brought into work in like a straitjacket in a mask, just like carted in. He can't be left to his own devices. He's like literally in their walls. He knew it would never work. Schaffer would never listen to a woman. In the lawsuit filed on Wednesday against the Blaze, Watson said her career was derailed. Oh, yo, does she live in Ohio? Too soon? After Blaze Media Management ignored her warnings about Schaffer's sexual harassment. The lawsuit portrays Watson as a woman struggling to make her way in a conservative media company where concerns about harassment were often ignored. Schaffer was ultimately fired from the Blaze in September after allegedly drunkenly assaulting another Blaze media host by groping her breasts during a movie premiere. At the time, the Blaze tweeted that they had fired him for violating company policies and standards. You know what? I don't think that's true. For how long he's been able to have this go on, I don't think that it's against company standards for you to do something like that. He's been doing it so much, I just don't believe that it's true. I just don't believe that it's true, if I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, women, conservatives get treated poorly around women. Imagine my shock. Imagine my shock. But Watson claims in her lawsuit that executives at the Blaze knew that Schaffer's problems with women employees went back far earlier. Because like Glenn Beck's media empire has imploded before. Ever since 2018, they've been facing like crazy amounts of layoffs, investors absolutely fleeing from them, unable to keep around like big business personalities or anything. They're just like incapable of running a functioning business at all. It got so bad that I'm not sure if you knew this, but even Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire thought about buying up the Blaze and to have them as like a media subsidiary. They were unironically thinking about doing that for some time. But then they found out that the Blaze is so ass that it wasn't even worth buying. So then the deal didn't go through. It's just crazy. This isn't even the first time that the Blaze has been sued by one of their personalities. Tommy Lauren, back in 2017, sued the Blaze. Conservative firebrand Tommy Lauren is suing Glenn Beck and the Blaze for wrongful termination. So it seemed like they're just unable to keep around their people, and the people who they do fire don't even think that they're being fired for the correct reasons. I'm not sure if Tommy Lauren was right here. I never kept up with the story. I just know that as long as conservatives are fighting, the world is a better place, right? Well, it's a better place. But on Eliza Schaffer, okay? Glenn Beck's media outlet, The Blaze, fired rising star Eliza Schaffer last month after a co-worker accused Schaffer of sexually assaulting her, which is, just so you remember, a crime. On September 24th, The Blaze announced that his firing. He boasts more than 470,000 followers on Twitter. That's the most important thing here. Schaffer's firing surprises many in the right-wing media after Schaffer has been seen as an up-and-coming star as he rose to prominence covering riots in the aftermath of the 2020 George Floyd protests. It seemed like not even that could keep him in the good graces of big tech. Oh, yo, Steven Crowder should adopt Schaffer into his new media outlet, anti-big con media outlet that he wants to start. Yo, he should do that. That would go so crazy. Schaffer and Crowder and everybody together. Yeah, hashtag stop Big Con. It'd be crazy. Wasn't he a part of the January 6th? I believe so. I believe so. Glenn Beck employee breaches Nancy Pelosi's office. I don't think this was Schaffer, but it definitely was somebody. Oh, no, yeah, it was Schaffer. My bad. My bad. Yeah, that was him. That was him at the riot at the Capitol, breaking into Nancy Pelosi's office. Sorry. That wasn't enough to get him fired. That actually got him promoted. Yeah, Glenn Beck's employee from The Blaze burst into Nancy Pelosi's office on Wednesday. The Blaze host Schaffer posted a photo of a private staff computer screen with the caption, "Breaking, I'm inside Nancy Pelosi. Breaking, I am committing a federal crime at this very moment with thousands of other revolutionaries who have stormed the building. Breaking, I'm recording myself committing several heinous acts and crimes against the United States government and federal agencies. Here's my name, my face, and my address. Thank you." It's so good. It's so good, dude. The alleged incident took place on August 26th, the premiere of Uncle Tom 2. I'm sorry. This shit is too funny. Dude, imagine getting too horny and you can't control not like assaulting your coworker at the premiere of, as you have to like sit in for the premiere of Uncle Tom 2 Electric Boogaloo. What the fuck? They made an Uncle Tom 2? Yes, because the first one popped off so hard. Yeah, like a normal person. As a normal person would. As a normal person would. Is this real life? Unfortunately. Conservative film that Schaffer co-produced. Gonzalez and Schaffer were seated next to each other. Horrible mistake. According to a picture Schaffer tweeted before the film. As the film played, according to the complaint made by management at The Blaze, an intoxicated Schaffer began groping her breasts. Just sitting next to her, getting blackout drunk while watching Uncle Tom 2 in the midday. And just starts assaulting the girl sitting next to you. I don't like if that's something that you would do over like a couple of beers. Honestly, I don't believe he wouldn't do it. I don't believe he wouldn't do it if he was sober. I don't think he was drunk enough to be able to just like do that without But it may just be me. This may be me being baby brain, thinking that I wouldn't do anything crazy or wacky while I'm drunk. Personally, I just kind of like sit in the corner when I get drunk. But that's just me. I guess we could just be two very different types of drunk peepos. I guess that's definitely true. What is Uncle Tom 2? I think it's a story about like a black conservative being bullied for being black and being conservative. As far as I remember. That's what's going on. Good. So true. So true. Oh my goodness. Before the firing, Schaffer said publicly that he clashed. Oh yeah, I remember. Then he was having problems with Glenn Beck as well because he said Glenn Beck, he looked at Glenn Beck while a recording was happening and he was like, "Glenn Beck, very soon you will go to hell." And he was like, "What are you talking about? Why would you say that?" He was like, "Because, what was it? Because you are Mormon. That is fake Christian and you will go to hell. And you deserve it. Are the infinitely burning pits of hell worth being Mormon, you sick fuck?" And Glenn Beck was like, "Stop saying that to me about my religion. We don't bully people for their religion here." And he's like, "I will not bully you, but what will God say once you meet him, because you will go to hell." He just kept bullying him. He just kept saying that shit, dude. Apparently, he said all the members of the Latter-day Saints will go to hell because Mormons are not Christian. Assuming I'm the only one of many, assuming I'm one of the many nice people who the Lord will make clear to you as condemned. I would just like to know if you still want a guy who's going to hell as a mentor. And then Schaffer was like, seems like a you problem. He was like, seems like a you problem. Schaffer was like, I'm gonna get everything that I can off of you before you go down to the fiery pits, brother. Your soul is damned. Glenn Beck, repent. Very soon you go to hell. It's crazy. Going to hell, skill issue. I know, right? Anyways, that's what happened with Schaffer, groping women. He seems to have poor history with women, if I'm gonna be honest with you. Not a very good history with women. Oh, just so you know, all of this was happening while this man is married. Okay? This man is married, and I think he has children. And he spends his time getting drunk and groping women at work. He also cheated on his wife with an underage girl, right? Well, all of this is cheating on his wife. I wouldn't necessarily say like I mean, yes, it is also technically cheating, but I think like the assault is like the worse than is like the operative like thing from the cheating, but like the cheating, like it's an aggravating factor, as I would like to say personally. Why they always cheating on their wives? I'll have you know, girls, if I was marrying you, I would never cheat on you, girl. Love you, girl. I would never treat you like that, girl. Girl. Yeah, it's all like conservatives be good to their wives challenge impossible difficulty. That's why Dennis Prager has been married what, like 2 times, 3 times or something. He's been remarried 3 times, divorced 2 times, I'm pretty sure. I get you some flowers. I never cheat on you, girl. Can you have him stop talking about dick so much? Please, I'm begging you. I'm begging you, please. But Watson claimed her lawsuit that the executives knew that Schaffer's problems with female employees went back way earlier. The Blaze management was fully aware that they had a problem with Schaffer, but he was their star, the lawsuit says. He was abusive and sexist to other women in the Blaze as well. My thing is, I just think it's wild that like these women know exactly what like conservatives have to say about women, and then they're like shocked when they get treated horribly in the workplace. I don't think that they deserve to get treated like this. I think they deserve to get treated way better. Like they don't deserve any of this. I want to make that like incredibly clear. While that's being said, my mind is simply just blown about the fact that they're like, I can't believe that this is possible, that they would treat me like this. I don't know, maybe they knew, or maybe they didn't. I know in like liberal spaces, it isn't necessarily like way better. I mean, cough, cough, Cuomo. I know it's not way better, but like, at least if it gets like found out, they'll really do something about it. They only cared about doing something about like Schaffer once like he literally committed a violent crime. Hello, Stinky. Come here, Stinky. There you go. Take your treat. Anyways, as for comment, Watson's attorney, Court Schlitter, she literally hired a guy as her lawyer who's named Kurt Schlitter. That's crazy. Look at my lawyer, bro. I'm not winning my case. Anyways, a conservative media, he's a YouTuber. She hired a YouTuber as her lawyer. She hired a Breitbart, right? She hired a Breitbart writer as her lawyer. That's crazy. Look at my lawyer, bro. I'm going to jail. He's the name of the partner of a growing Los Angeles trial law firm, retired Army infantry colonel, and master's strategic studies from a United States Army War College. Okay. And a former stand-up comic. We can't escape. Dude. They're all failed artists. It's crazy. All of them. All of their art sucked ass. And they failed. And then they just became conservative media weirdos. It's crazy. Every time. What are you gonna do? I'm just shocked. I would never hire a Twitch streamer to be my lawyer, bro. Are you insane? Are you crazy? Are you out of your mind? What was I reading? I'm sorry, I completely lost my place. I referred to the Daily Beast to a complaint. The Blaze and Schaffer didn't respond to requests for comment. It didn't help Schaffer would get drunk on set, and he gets drunk, and he gets guest drunk. Wait, he's like, he won't even just get drunk himself. He's like, hey, pull up, bottoms up, boys. Let's go. All right, then. Everybody has to get drunk when he's around. And he keeps talking about gay sex. He's getting everybody uncomfortable. Schaffer be like, I get no bitches, Miss Watson. That's why I drink on set. Once I get all the female guests intoxicated, all the girls at the function will be mine. Oh no. Anyways, once Schaffer received his co-hosting spot on The Blaze, according to Watson, he insisted on inviting guests like grossly misogynistic, white nationalist Nick Fuentes. Oh, well, remember that. We covered that. You guys remember that? He brought on Fuente Boy. And Fuentes spent the entire time talking about how like women are lesser than men. And like he got rolled by Sydney Watson. I thought she loved the debate. Whatever happened to free speech, huh, Miss Watson? What happened? I thought it was supposed to be all fun and games and free speech and whatnot, but look, you can't have him on. Oh, didn't you know, Miss Watson, that the law isn't for people normies like you? The free speech is actually for Fuentes, for him, because his speech is the one that really needs to be protected. So have him on, invite him into your home. You know, I love the dialectics. Don't you guys love the dialectics? Didn't he say loving women is gay or something? I don't know. He didn't say loving women is gay. I think you're referring to another clip that he had where he said that like, if he had the choice between dating a woman and dating a monkey, he would rather date a monkey because women are cringe and he hates women. He was like, I'd rather date a monk. I'd rather like spend time, like date a monkey boy, like a literal chimpanzee, than like date a woman because women are so cringe and stupid and lesser than men that like dating a monkey would be like more like closer to his level than dating a woman, which honestly is remarkable and a self-tell. You know, that's not for me to decide. He only dates cat boys. Yeah. Basically. Yeah, delicious dialectic. On that debate, he did say that he never dated a woman before. And he's never been in an intimate relationship or like intimate scenario with a woman in his entire life. He did have to admit that when asked about it by Sydney Watson. And then he said that he loves authoritarianism. And then she was like, everybody that I know says, everybody who's like cringe says that they love authoritarianism until they're there and then they think it sucks. What do you think about that? And he was like, yeah, but we'll just do authoritarianism better than they did. That was his unironic answer. So yeah. He's quite a weird lad, I must say. I'm having a relationship with a woman right now. You don't have to like keep telling us you're gay. We get it. In her account, Watson found herself set up as Schaffer's foil, embarrassed by her co-host, and tricked into reading anti-Semitic messages from Schaffer's far-right fans aloud on the show. Wait, he would like bait her into reading anti-Semitic shit on the show? He'd be like, hey, like somebody would send her this and they'd be like, hey, could you have Sydney read this? And it's like, and it's like, funny Jew, happy merchant, funny long nose, money. And she was like, thank you, very cool. Wait, did he like bend over her basically? Did he like Mike Hunt her? Did he basically do the thing with anti-Semitic messages that she'd have her read? Like he's like the goofy ass names you make that the teacher has to delete during the Kahoot session. Yeah, Mike Hawk. Mike Hawks Long. Great guy. I love that guy. What a cool guy. You know what he probably did? Remember that when like an Asian flight went down and then they memed on the names of the flight of like the pilots and it was like, holy fook, we too low. Going down, bing ding ow. Yeah, way too low, bing dang ow. Yeah, some ting wong, we too low, bang ding ow. It's just like, you think he did something like that to her? She probably hated her life. Best news report. Yeah, she probably hated her life. Can you imagine? It became a running gag for Schaffer and his audience that some of Mr. Schaffer's fans would leave super chat comments coded with dog whistles that reference glossy, misogynistic, or anti-Semitic comments for Miss Watson to read with her not knowing what they meant. Oh no, the compliments read, "This is just harassment, bro." Watson problems with Schaffer escalated in December 2021 when the pair interviewed Jack Murphy. Oh no. Then a sort of would-be guru and hypermasculine in the manosphere. Shortly before the interview, though, Murphy had been exposed by online critics for his involvement in an unusual sexual practices and his own past adult performances on webcam. Crazy. When Watson asked him about that history, she claims Murphy began to berate her rather than defend her. According to the lawsuit, Schaffer tried to cheer up his guests. Watson began to feel she had been turned into a designated punching bag for the sexist guests and for Schaffer himself. The idea behind the show was never to turn into a form of humiliation and abuse for the female co-star, as the male host smirked and egged on his appalling behavior. In the lawsuit, Watson claimed Schaffer was frequently drunk on broadcasts as well. Holy shit. It's just wild. It's just like cartoonishly stupid. A lot of these like workplace stories are, you know what I mean? Again, what did you expect? It is true. What did you expect from like this type of like conservative outlet, you know? I want to know when, cause even like, what's her name? What the fuck's her name? Lauren Southern? Lauren Southern was the template, right? She literally had to leave like alt-right spaces. She literally had to leave this fascist spaces that she wanted to be a part of simply because they treated her so poorly, right? They like bullied her like day in and day out for having an Asian boyfriend and now Asian husband. She tried to date like the 20,000th Von Schlappencock or something. Von Mietenschlappen or whatever, some like dipshit weirdo from like Ohio decided to like rename himself when he became 18 to fit more with his like alt-right personality. Who went on a date and told her how much they wanted to breed with her to create the perfect white babies or some dumb shit like that. I'm just surprised none of them have like taken the hint that like conservatives hate them. They don't want anything to do with them. They just hate women, dude. I was gonna talk about this sometime. Dude, conservatives hate. Well, I'm gonna talk about it for like conservatives hate white women. You know, they hate white women. I remember like Doyle talking about how much he hates white women and how like cringe white women are. Like every conservative talking host has like something horrible to say about white women and how they like things like freedom and voting and not being slaves to their husbands and all these types of things and being able to marry and being able to own a bank account and driving, all that type of shit. When they literally want to bring in, these people literally want to bring in Al-Qaeda. These people are Al-Qaeda. Okay, these guys are literally Al-Qaeda. Like all these dudes spend all day photoshopping like "please be patient with me, I'm autistic" hats onto their K-On 12-year-old waifu, and we're all like, I can't believe these guys would treat us like this. Not to say that they deserve it, they don't deserve it at all. But like, I'm just like, what did you expect, lady? It sucks, and I hope that she wins her lawsuit. But like, damn. Were you surprised? I mean, this happens all the way up to like Fox News, you know what I mean? Like even up to remember when Fox News, how like Sean Hannity tried to pawn off one of the like poor little secretary girls because she didn't have a boyfriend or something. So he would literally did like a little mini slave trade where he was like bidding her off. Like $100, who wants to take on a date? $150, $200, who wants to take on a date? And like when Tucker Carlson proposed one of the poor little worker girls to like suck his dick because he was alone in New York for Christmas Eve. It's crazy. Or Elon Musk asking to get like a happy ending to buy this poor equestrian horse girl a horse. It's just what's happening. Touch my pee-pee, I give you pony. Touch my pee-pee, I buy you pony. And then we'll talk about, yeah, it's two groups of people, okay? It's crazy because they're still, I haven't heard about like the replacement theory meme in quite some time. I think it's like near completely fallen off. Of course, like a lot of the really big conservative talking heads still talk about it, but like a lot of them just don't, and they just don't care, don't think about it anymore. But like, it was like they're really big on there's too many Hispanic people coming into the country. And I feel like on a dime that changed from too many Hispanic people coming into the country to I can't wait to get myself a submissive, feminine Latina wife who will call me mijo when I come home and have chalupas and tamales ready for me when I get back from my union job where she spent all day polishing her pussy and mopping the floors or some shit like that, right? It's like either that or getting like the Asian girlfriend, the Asian wife, because they're so demure and submissive, or just like going full degen and flying to like the Philippines or Vietnam or something to go get some Asian street meat, to go get some like South Asian street meat. It's just like it's one of those things, and it's just nothing. They just can't be normal. They just can't be normal. It's impossible. They can't do it. Don't say it like that. That's how they say it. You know it's true. Search your heart, you know it to be true. That's literally the term that they use for it. Abuse. I mean, this is even Tate. Remember when we talked about this with Andrew Tate? Andrew Tate, the only reason why he moved to Romania is because he didn't have enough money to make it to Vietnam or something. Because he saw that he could like scoop up a bunch of like South Asian prostitutes to do the same thing that he was going to do in Romania, but to like poor little Vietnamese girls, like trying to get out of their like poverty, like homes. It's sad. It's sad. Finally a South Asian W. We love to see South Asian W's, at least. Sweating all over my phone. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, that is exactly what they want, right? Of course, they love the trafficking women thing. It's the same thing where like, they'll say it's all degen. Andrew Tate, it literally came, we're going to talk about it in a moment. It literally came out not too long ago that Andrew Tate like paid for boob jobs for girls to look prettier on OnlyFans after he was like pimping them out. And it's crazy because I remember people like clowning on iDubbbz for paying for a boob job for his wife. His wife wanted breast implants. And he paid for it because that's his wife. And people were like, look at this simp, look at this cuck, look at this simp cuck paying for a boob job for his wife. Cringe, Lamau. It's if they're married. Andrew Tate buys a boob job for a woman that he's literally abusing and like keeping as a pet slave. And he's like Mr. Top G, Mr. Worldwide crazy, like role model. It's crazy. Guys, is it gay to love your wife? It seems like the answer is yes. He's Mr. Plenty. He is Mr. Plenty. Plenty of booba. It seems. It's wild. But yeah, The Blaze instead opted to cater to the demands, tantrums, and misbehaviors of another young rising star, a male one who, long after Miss Watson had been terminated for complaining and demanding justice, was finally fired based on allegations that he physically assaulted and manhandled at least one other employee. I think that shit's crazy. Holy shit. They were begging her to do something about this guy, and she couldn't because she's a fucking woman, and he won't listen to her. And then instead of firing him, she got fired before he did. Just so you know, everything we've heard about Elijah Schaffer, Watson got fired before he got fired. If that doesn't tell you anything about the system that we live in, it's wild, dude. And Watson, I know for a fact, is the type of girl to be like, we have no use for feminism anymore. Feminism has overstayed its welcome. Okay, buddy. It's not 1914 anymore. Feminism has overstayed its welcome. Feminism is only a cancer. What barriers do women face? Come on. Disgusting. Cut me some slack. What in the world? The Blaze does deserve to go down. It really does. That's horrible. Obviously the bosses don't deserve to have any subordinates for as long as their days. If I'm gonna be honest, Sydney Watson doesn't deserve it, but like, damn, I think it's wild how she never saw this coming. But hey, listen, we all gotta eat. I don't know, maybe it was just a job for her. Not sure, but wow, that's bad. Come here. Hi. Oh, sorry. I didn't see you there. If you're enjoying the content, hit the subscribe button. If you don't, it'll make Boo very sad. I know a bunch of you who are watching are not subscribed. Join the frenzy. You won't regret it. Thank you, Boo.